USPAP Page 117. Advisory Opinion 21, AO 21. This communication by the Appraisal Standards Board, ASB, does not establish new standards or interpret existing standards. Advisory opinions are issued to illustrate the applicability of appraisal standards in specific situations and to offer advice from the ASB for the resolution of appraisal issues and problems. Subject: USPAP Compliance Application. Real property, personal property, intangible property. The issue: individuals perform numerous roles within the broad realm of valuation services. Examples include appraisal, brokerage, auctioning, property management, consulting, appraisal review, and collecting market data. Some valuation services are part of appraisal practice and require compliance with USPAP. What are the USPAP compliance requirements for these various services? More specifically, 1. When should an individual comply with USPAP? 2. What is the relationship between valuation services and appraisal practice? 3. What does acting as an appraiser or performing a service as an appraiser mean? 4. Why does an expectation for an individual to act as an appraiser indicate an obligation to comply with USPAP? 5. What are the responsibilities of an appraiser regarding intended user expectations? 6. What are the USPAP obligations for appraisal practice outside of appraisal and appraisal review? 7. What are the USPAP obligations for valuation services outside of appraisal practice? Advice from the ASB on the issue: 1. When should an individual comply with USPAP? The preamble states that compliance with USPAP is required when either the service or the appraiser is obligated to comply by law or regulation, or by agreement with the client or intended users. An obligation to comply with USPAP is created by law, regulation, or agreement with intended users. In such cases, an appraiser must follow USPAP. The preamble also states that when not obligated, individuals may still choose to comply with USPAP. The ethics rule states that an individual should comply any time that individual represents that he or she is performing the service as an appraiser. An ethical obligation to comply with USPAP is created by choice. That is, by choosing to represent oneself as an appraiser. Therefore, when required by law, regulation, or agreement, an individual must comply with USPAP. When choosing to represent oneself as an appraiser, an individual should comply with USPAP. 2. What is the relationship between valuation services and appraisal practice? A key to distinguishing an appraiser's obligations is understanding the relationship between valuation services and appraisal practice in USPAP. Appraisal practice is a subset of valuation services. Valuation services are services pertaining to aspects of property value. Appraisers and others for whom value is an issue provide valuation services. Examples include appraisal, brokerage, auctioning, property management, consulting. Appraisal review and collecting market data. Appraisal practice is defined as valuation services performed by an individual acting as an appraiser. Only appraisers may offer services that are considered appraisal practice. Examples include appraisal, appraisal review, and collecting market data, acting as an appraiser. Since USPAP obligations apply to those who are acting as appraisers, USPAP applies to appraisal practice. USPAP gains legal authority through adoption by the various state and federal jurisdictions. Consequently, the legal requirement to follow USPAP is rooted in federal and state laws or regulations. 8.1.1.1.1.1.1.2.2.1.3 1.4 The preamble states that the appraiser's responsibility is to protect the overall public trust, and it is the importance of the role of the appraiser that places ethical obligations on those who serve in this capacity. However, the preamble also states that USPAP does not establish who or which assignments must comply. Neither the Appraisal Foundation nor its Appraisal Standards Board is a government entity with the power to make, judge, or enforce law. Advisory Opinions 2018-2019 edition. The Appraisal Foundation